there, Haley and Jonathan. Hope you're having a great day today. Short video lesson. 3 things I want to talk about. I'll go down the list. If you have questions at the end or want me to look at anything, feel free to shoot a message on over and I'll do my best to answer. Cool, let's get to it. So I got your text, obviously, and you wanted some pointers on what to do for packing Packington's Pound. I'll make that point 2. I'll go through point 1 just real briefly, and then I'll talk about what to do with Packington's Pound. So the first thing you want to do this week is for your arpeggio work is the next set. So there's 3 sets of 2 for the right hand arpeggios for book 3 through 4, and then book 4 will have its own collection of arpeggios. So this one, what you want to do is thumb on the 5th string as usual, and then M on the B string, I on the G string, and then A on the E string. So it looks like this: P M I A, P M I A. Right. Later on, you can combine it with if you want later on. But first things first is just do that on open strings. So P, it's like P I M A, and we're always going back towards the palm. Never ever a picking motion out this way. And then for your main question, Packington's Pound, let's see here. So for this one, you want to start with the pret measures. The pret measures are pretty easy to spot. If you look right here, I have mine already marked out. Any spot that looks like this is going to be a pret measure. They're all going to be AMI. So go ahead and mark an AMI for these measures right here. This one here, I have it in the hand: 3, 6, 13, 15, 17, and 19. If you're starting to see a trend with book 3, because there's going to be more and more right hand patterns that are going to be marked into the score. So it's not just like I and M the entire time like book 1 was, and with a little bit of A towards the end. You want to start, actually, I would even suggest maybe even marking every single right hand finger in there. That's like something I would just go ahead and start doing. Like if you look at something that I'm working on right now, like I already have like the first page, like I have all those marked in. So I mark in all those right hand fingerings, excuse me. Playing it the same way every single time. So mark those in AMI, and what you're going to practice is just doing, so for the first one, in the music it's going to be D, B, G, so A, M, I, A, M, I. I can talk more about it later on, but my teacher, his whole thesis on the right hand was that basically right there. That's a super important exercise to do. A, M, I. It's kind of like the natural fall of the hand. He demonstrated for me where like the hand would just naturally fall, and like I and or M and A would be together, and I would be in front of M. So it's like that's just the natural fall of the hand. Is just very natural to have your hand form that way. So having A, M, I, so B, B, G string, A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I. And that's a lot. That's the first one, that's the second one, third one, the same thing, fourth one. They're all the same. And then what you can do, you can throw the thumb in there too if you want to. So you can do like, say, go to rest stroke. That way. And then the other thing too is practicing the 3/4 finger split. This one has a 3/4 finger split between G right here and then D in the top voice. Remember, always with that straight wrist, we don't want to be pointing out this way, right? So if you don't want to be like this, you want to bring that thumb up so everything's aligned right here. So work on that split right there, and I had that exercise that we worked on last time. The big thing is making sure that these fingers aren't flying away over here. It's going to sound kind of funny because it's just an exercise. It's not meant to be music. It's meant to be an exercise to get you used to, right? Just to get used to is playing those big stretches. Like I said, that's a big part of book 3 is getting this part of the hand strengthened. So I always would sit down every morning I sit down with a workout routine where I go, okay, I'm going to work on my scales, work on my left hand, I'm going to work on arpeggios, shifting. So I have this is like a workout routine, and you just go through each muscle group and work out each routine. But if you sit down and just play your pieces over and over again, you'll get pretty far, but they won't be as polished as if you sit down and actually make exercises out of the difficult parts of. That's what the teaching points in this series are anyway. So work on it. And then in the B section, that happens from measures 9 to 13 is the B section. So this guy right here is this. So you work on this section right here. You're gonna cross out all these right hand fingers. It's gonna be A M I, A I, A M I, A, A M I, A M I, A M I, A M I. So you want to practice that So practice that for me, right there for the B section. And then, so for this piece right here, what I would suggest doing is starting with those prep measures and then going back and see if you can pick out the melody. There it is. So go through and start working out the melody. This is basically built on elaboration, so you have an original melody, and then what he does in here, the Anonymous does, is he fills in the blanks of all the notes. We'll talk more about that later on what an elaboration is, but just be aware that this line right here is related to these lines right here, except for the B section. So these are just basically just like this on steroids. And then last thing I want you to work on is with your A minor scale. There's a couple different ways you can finger this, but we're going to do an open position first because open position is what happens in Packington's pound. So you want to play the scale that goes along with this piece. So you have here your note A on the 3rd string 2nd fret. Then you have B on the 2nd string open, C on the 1st fret 2nd string, then D, then you have E, F natural on the 1st string 1st fret. You go G on the 3rd fret 1st string, and then you can shift up here to 3rd position with your ring finger. So it sounds like this, and then back down. Is the scale. There's a lot of different ways you can play that scale with a slight shift in there. So there I shift, I start in 2nd position, I shift to 3rd position, right? But let's just start with open position first, because that's probably the most useful. And there's also a fun fact about what key this is or what mode this is that we can talk about later on if you're interested in that sort of thing. So the theory behind it, if you're ever curious about that, you can always ask me. So cool, work on that for me. Work on those arpeggios. Send me over if you want your free stroke exercises. I'm sorry, your arpeggios and your other things, so I can see how they're coming along. If not, assuming that they're doing okay. And if there are other questions, I will see you the same time next time. Take care, guys.